Hi, Year 11. This is a topic that appears on the paper 2 of chemistry, trilogy and separate. Have a look at these retrieval questions. There are 5 here. What I will do, you've got about 30 seconds. You can pause the video here, have a go, and then we can restart when you're ready. The objective today is we're looking at crude oil. Crude oil is part of the organic chemistry topic, which is topic 7. And the objective is to learn about the components of crude oil. What we're hoping to do is you will be able to draw, hopefully, different alkanes and know their general formula. Here's a little starter for you. Think about this one. How did you get to school today? And will students be able to get to school in the same way in 40 years' time? What do you think? What do you think is going to change? We're obviously thinking about the implications this is going to have on the environment. Okay. Um, Here's a little section for you where you can see the link there to YouTube. Open that link, have a look at the video, and then it says there, watch the video about crude oil and jot down answers to the following. There are 3 questions for you to do. Is crude oil a mixture or a compound? What does crude oil look like? And what is crude oil made of? So have a look at the video, watch the video, and then answer these 3 questions. When you've done that, you can come back to this. Okay, hopefully you've now watched the video. You paused it, you'll watch the video, and you'll be able to answer these 3 questions. If we move on. Alkanes. Alkanes are a group of hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons hydrocarbon is a molecule containing the elements hydrogen and carbon only. So you can clearly see there, alkanes are a homologous series, alkanes are hydrocarbons, and alkanes are saturated. There's 3 questions there for you. What do you think of the first one? Number 2, what elements do you think they have in them? I've already told you this one, number 2. And number 3, what does this mean in terms of bonding and why? You can pause the video here and try and answer these 3 questions. Okay, let's move on then. Hopefully you got something, something like the 3 answers I've just put on the board for you. Something for you to think about. Okay, here we go. Naming alkanes. Obviously, alkanes belong to a group of hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbon meaning hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and carbon. And what you need to know the number of carbon atoms. You can clearly see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Words beginning with, and that's just one way of remembering them. Monkeys eat proper butter positively. So, rules for drawing alkanes. Draw the correct number of carbon atoms first in a straight line. Each carbon makes 4 bonds because carbon is in group 4 and it has 4 electrons in the outer shell. Each hydrogen makes 1 bond. All bonds are single bonds, and there has to be a bond between every element. So, you've got 1 minute to draw the ethane molecule. Think about how many carbon bonds ethane will have. I'll show you this slide again so you know how many carbons ethane will have. Hopefully what you've got is 2 carbon atoms in a line surrounded by 6 hydrogen atoms. So the formula should be C2H6 there. Hope you got it. 2 carbon atoms surrounded by 6 hydrogen atoms, each bond between the carbon and hydrogen being a single covalent bond. The next thing is the molecular formula for ethane. Obviously, have you worked out, I think I've already told you, have you worked out the molecular formula? If you look at the hint, the molecular formula for water is H2O. So what do you think the molecular formula for ethane is? And then there's a little section at the bottom. Why do scientists use formula instead of writing the name? There's a molecular formula, C2H6. You can clearly see 2 carbon atoms with 6 hydrogen atoms. General formula. Now, all alkanes will have a general formula. Task. Here's a little task here. Draw methane, propane, butane and pentane. Write the molecular formula for each hydrocarbon you've drawn. And then there's a challenge task for you. You can pause the video here now and have a go at this. Okay, if you've had a go, then oops. So there's your general formula. Using that general formula, number 2, how many hydrogen atoms? It will have 866. That's if you was in a classroom. Make ethane, butane, propane. You don't need to do that's A level. So get yourself a piece of paper or a whiteboard or a pen or something. Close your books and answer these questions on the next slide. So, what's this hydrocarbon called? Draw this one. And the name. Okay, this is clearly pentane. 5 carbons surrounded by 12 hydrogens. There you go, there's your pentane. Surrounded by hydrogens. What about this one? Draw an alkane with 10 hydrogen atoms and name it. Okay, so there it is, and the name is butane. That's what you should have got. Moving on. What about draw and name an alkane with 3 carbon atoms? So use that general formula, CnH2n plus 2. N is the number of carbons. Okay, hopefully you've done that now. Let's have a look. It was propane. 3 carbons 8 hydrogens. Draw this molecule, this hydrocarbon molecule, and name it. Okay, let's have a look. There you go, and it's ethane. Still single bonds, and ethane, A-N-E, means it belongs to the alkane family. All single bonds, and it's a saturated molecule. Here's a tricky one. You can have a go. If you would like to have a go, pause the video here, have a go, and then here's just something interesting. It's still a propane molecule with 3 carbons, but you've now got a carbon branching out from the middle carbon. Okay. Don't forget you can pause the video here while you're doing these questions. So what you should have got, if you look at the first one, which formula in the list represents a hydrocarbon? Draw a ring around the correct formula. We've got C8H18. That's a hydrocarbon. Do you know what's that hydrogen carbon called? You should have got octane. Next one, which word from the list below describes crude oil? Is it an alloy, compound, element, or a mixture? Well, because we can separate it using fractional distillation, it means it's a mixture. There you go. Here's another GCSE question. You can pause the video here again. And this is what you should have got. Okay. Here's another one. Pause the video here again. Take your time, work it out, and once you've done that, oops. And if you look at the bottom one, circle which of the following is not an alkane. Alkane, meaning it has to belong to the CnH2n general. It must have a general formula, CnH2n plus 2. So one of these doesn't have that general formula. And the answer should be C9H18, because that doesn't have the CnH2n plus 2 general formula. The others 3 do. So C9H18 is not an alkane. That's your graph. And that's the end of this. Hope you've learned something from this, and we'll see you next time. Bye.